Hello, welcome. I'm a stranger here. Yes, I know. Hello from Israel and Barbados. Okay. Hey, exciting. Welcome, everyone. I'm glad you're here. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Yeah, I took some time off. Sorry about that. The first week was Colin and Lila's spring break, and I'm still trying to organize. I just, you know how you go through life and sometimes you feel like you kind of have a hold on things, and then other times you realize you have a hold on nothing? Yeah, right now, nothing. Hi, Kathy. I'm glad you're here. Anyway, so that was last week. And then this week, so I teach a lot of online classes, like virtual events. And even though the events aren't until, May and later, I got to come up with the projects now. And it takes a lot of work because you got to do the instructions and the homework video and so on and so forth. And I have 4 that I'm working on right now. So that content is something I put on my channel, but I am trying my best to work. So I know we've got this live today, and then I know I'm going to go live twice next week, I believe. I think twice. So if you are ever wondering, because I get emails when people ask, I try to keep folks kind of updated on things happening over in my Share Handmade Kindness Facebook group. So if you're interested in that, you can go over to Facebook, search on Share Handmade Kindness, and just answer the questions to join. And, you can be kept to date on these kind of things. As far as the classes, Jazzy asked about signing up for classes. Some of the class events are already sold out. Some are not. If there is a class event coming up that I will be teaching in and it's available, I will put it over on my Crafty news page, which is also my sales page. So you can go there and check that out anytime. So I do know that Pink Fresh just opened up registration for their event in May, and that is it's like masculine cards. And then Spellbinders will open theirs up in a couple weeks, and I'm doing that one too. So I try to share over on the Crafty News, and I mention it here too. But a few of the others are already closed up. All right, so I love seeing people are playing hooky from work. I'm glad to help you with that. Today I'm easing back into things by doing something fun. One of my favorite people to go live with is Simon Hurley. And today he's going to show me all about his newest products. And we're going to do some fun techniques. Now, if you're not looking into getting any new products right now, totally get it. But we're going to have some fun playing. And, a lot of the ideas we share are general crafting ideas. So I think it'll be fun. Can we bring Simon in? Nobody wants to hear me. They want to see Simon. Hi, Simon.
I'm super excited to go live with you. It's always a blast, and I don't go live often, so I reserve this for when I come visit Jennifer and we do a live together.
Yeah, Simon and I don't know, we get along well and we create well together. So this works out really well for us, right?
Totally. I remember last time we did those pastes, and it was just bouncing ideas off of each other. It was so fun to do. You kind of make me think outside the box, which is always a great way to craft.
Someday we got to get Kathy Zilski in with us, because I have a feeling the 3 of us would be trouble. And Gina. Then we just would have to, hang up the crafting aprons and just play, just talk.
And just laugh the whole day, right?
Absolutely. So do you want to tell us, well, first of all, if for some reason you don't know who Simon is, his YouTube channel is linked in my description below. And so you can find him there. He has product lines with Ranger and with Spellbinders, right?
Yep.
Are those the 2? Yep. And Ranger right now is giving 15% off. Is it site-wide?
Yeah, I think site-wide. I tested it beforehand, so it should work on pretty much everything over there.
Yay. So 15% over on Ranger. They carry a lot of stuff. They even carry Simon's Spellbinders products, or your stamps, right?
Mm-hmm. So they carry the stamps, and they carry some of the standalone dies too, so you can find a lot over there.
Oh, good. Okay, so that's all in the YouTube description below. The code that you need to use and the link to be able to do that. I also have at the top of my YouTube description, this will be really helpful because we're going to be playing with things throughout this. And I will probably be grabbing supplies that I don't have in the description below. So at the top of the YouTube description, there is a link that says live in it. If you click that and open it in a new browser window, you'll be able to see the discount code information. And then below that are thumbnails of all the products that we show, and we'll add to that throughout this. You just might need to refresh. So I'm hoping that's helpful too, because a lot of this stuff is really fun. And folks have said that they've been watching you since you were 14 crafting.
That's awesome. It's crazy. It's so cool to kind of have grown up in the industry, and now I'm 22, and yeah, I've been crafting since I was 12. So it's wild. A lot has changed since then.
You're right in between my two youngest and my two oldest.
Oh, nice. Right smack dab in the middle.
Right in the middle, right in the middle. Okay, so we won't talk about that. I always tease you for being so young because I'm incredibly jealous that I didn't find this industry at that age. I wish I had. But anyways, why don't you tell us today what you're going to talk about, what the new stuff?
Yeah, sweet. Should we jump right over to the overhead cameras?
Sure, sure.
All right, so I just launched a new line of sprays with Ranger. These are called solar sprays, and they follow suit from the solar paste that I released with them about 2 years ago. Now, they're completely different products. This is a way more liquid form of the solar product. And really, it's in the solar line because the solar pastes and sprays are similar because the sprays have a clear base, and these pastes have kind of a white base that can be transparent if you apply them thin enough. But you don't really see the color of them, except for the label here, until they go onto a color of cardstock. And that's by design because I really like the fact that you get kind of this awesome color on black cardstock. It looks kind of almost white or hazy when you look at it straight on until you tilt it. And then you get that beautiful color, which is amazing, right? So this is that pink color called Cross My Heart. And then I'm not sure if you're going to be able to pick it up on camera because it washes the white out a little bit. But you can see that color and the shine. And in real life, that color really kind of comes to life. And it's absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. So the thing I like about that, of it being able to go on the white cardstock, is that you can make more subtle cards or like a subtle background and really have your focal point stand out. But then this can kind of like shine when you tilt it, and it's kind of a really nice surprise without taking over the card. So lots of different colors of the spray. We have Overheated, which is this orange color. Golden Hour, which is a yellow gold. That one's beautiful. Crocodile Tears, which is this kind of like bluish green color. Beluga, that gorgeous. That's one of my favorites, that blue right there.
That's gorgeous.
And then we have Royal Flush. So if you love purple, it's kind of like a bluish purple. And then sometimes when you tilt them, like they become like a different color. Like in some angles, this looks like a grape kind of purple. And in some angles, it looks like a bluish purple. So it just depends on how you're kind of looking at it and what angle, but really cool. So we'll talk about more of the differences between this and the paste in just a little bit.
Okay.
But the paste is really like meant to just apply lots of texture to your card along with the color, whereas the spray is a much more liquid form, so it gives you a lot of variety in techniques that you could do with like watercoloring and like getting this kind of marbled look, which you couldn't get with the paste. So that's kind of the difference between them. I've had a couple questions asking if you can water these down. These are like super thick. They're like almost like a paint consistency. Yep. So even if you added a ton of water to get them, really liquidy, you're still going to clog a sprayer if you try to add this in because it dries a lot differently than these sprays do. So I definitely don't recommend trying to make it into a spray. If you just have the paste, definitely just grab the sprays. They're at a pretty affordable price point too. I think $3.99 or something for the spray, which is really great. That's beautiful. Is that the paste?
Yeah, this is Crocodile Tears paste. It's like a minty green. I love it. Yeah, and I just spread it on thin, and you can see the color already, and it's not even dry. When we did a live together in the past, maybe Brianne, hi Brianne. Brianne is my link ninja. She can find anything. And maybe she can find the live that we did last time because we did a comparison of all the different pastes that you have.
That
So
one was
today
super helpful.
today we're focusing on the solar paste, but really the new sprays and
Hmm.
how they're different. So you don't recommend watering these down and trying to make your own.
So you could like, if you want to water down the solar paste, you could do kind of like a splatter with a paintbrush, but I don't recommend putting it in the spray bottle because the moment you put that in the spray bottle, when that dries, it has like a really thick resin in it. So it's going to dry almost like a paint and it'll just clog your sprayer immediately. So I don't want you guys to ruin your stuff. So that's why I wouldn't
Fail,
recommend
yeah,
it. But if you use like a paintbrush, you can water it down and kind of splatter it onto a card. And that way you're
right.
not putting it into like a nozzle or anything like that.
So you can do like a little bit of splatter or spatter with it. Just mix a
Hmm.
little on your desk, but it would be not a great idea to put it in a spray bottle. So that's why the
Yeah.
solar spray, how that idea came. That's awesome.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
these are available in the same colors as the original solar sprays, right?
Correct. Yep. There's 6 different colors, kind of a rainbow assortment, and there might be more soon, but right now we've got 6.
Awesome. Brianne just put a link in the chat to that video where we did lots of the paste, but this one we're going to focus more on the new sprays and the fun of it. Now, a lot of the techniques we do today could be done with other mists or sprays, but we're going to be sharing how these are different than others. But you can
Yeah.
also try a lot of the things with what you have. It'll just give you a different look. Do you want to talk a bit more about how they're different?
Yeah, so let's jump into that. So the way that these are much different than anything else, I've seen a lot of sprays come on the market over my time in the industry, right? And I'm sure you have too. And so the main difference is the mica that's inside of these are very different than other micas because like the mica that's in like a lunar paste, for example, this is just solid, straight mica. It's very normal. And once that dries, the mica is really opaque and it shows that color no matter how you tilt it. So like no matter which way I tilt this bottle, this is going to always look like a really dark kind of copper color. Whereas the
Gotcha.
mica that's inside of the solar spray allows it to look like nothing on white cardstock, which is very hard to do. Like you can't really see it when you're looking at it straight on until you tilt it. And then on black, again, you're going to get that hazy kind of look that's almost like a white kind of haze until you tilt it, and then you get that blue color. So that's the difference between solar spray and any other kind of mica that's in any other spray. It's an
Gotcha.
interference kind of color, so it's going to look different no matter how you tilt it, which I think is super cool. So that's what makes
So
it a
it's
little bit.
really neat I think what's really neat about it is when the person has it in their hands and you just see those different tilts or it's on display, you see the different angles and the color like almost moves with you.
Yes, totally. And someone the other day did comment, like not trying to be mean or anything, but when you're like, how is someone supposed to know, like, if it's a white color cardstock to tilt it? But trust me, when you see it on camera,
Yeah.
it doesn't do it justice on the white. But when you see it in person, like the littlest tilt will just show you all of that color. So it's very
Absolutely.
different seeing it in person.
No, sorry, Mike. And I think that's the case about a lot of products because a lot of times I feel like I talk about the shine of something, and I realize in the video you're not seeing it, but in real life you do. So some of it you just got to kind of trust the teachers that it actually
Yeah,
happens. So
yeah,
okay.
definitely.
Do you want to what do you want to show first? I intentionally did not play with these ahead of time because I did that last time and it was really fun to just experience the new product with the person who created it. So I'm going to be learning along with you guys, but as you all know, we bounce ideas off each other, so it'll be really fun. So
Yeah.
Simon's going to show me what to do and teach us all about these.
Yeah, so to start off with, there's going to be kind of like a kind of sludge on the bottom of your spray here, in the bottom of the bottle, and that's just all the mica. It tends to separate a little bit out from the liquid. So I literally just grab all 3, make sure that those clear lids are on here, and I just kind of shake these up like this until all of that mica is gone from the bottom.
And you want to make
So
sure
just
you
a
hear
little
that
efficient.
little ball in there, right?
Yep,
To make
yep,
sure
there's a
that
little
it's
ball
moving
in there.
around.
So if you don't hear the little ball in there, sometimes it gets a little stuck. You'll just like want to tap it a little bit and then it'll start moving. And
Okay.
they mix up pretty quick. Like mine are already pretty much ready to spray, which is awesome. All
Yeah,
right.
Barbara said we should all just get together in your studio so that we can see the spray in real life. How's that?
Oh, I agree. Come on over, guys. Okay, so the first thing I want to show is if you grab a piece of watercolor cardstock and then you
Yep.
grab the Simon Hurley Stark White cardstock, I just want to
Okay.
show a little comparison along with you, and then you'll kind of see in person too. So the cool part about the different cardstocks is you always want to test a medium on several surfaces to see what works best for you. So on my left, I have Stark White cardstock. On this right side, I have Ranger's watercolor cardstock, but you can probably use any watercolor cardstock and just get a feel for your cardstocks here. So I'm going to show you when you spray it down on the Simon Hurley Stark White cardstock, it tends to sink right in almost immediately to that cardstock. Like you can see, it's pretty much almost dry already, and most of that liquid comes off the surface right away. The reason why is because the cardstock is super absorbent, so it's going to really kind of let that spray sink in right away. Whereas
Ooh.
if you want more of like a marbled kind of look, spraying it onto that watercolor cardstock, you'll see
Ah,
here,
yeah.
like it just sits on there. So
Yep.
it's cool for different effects. Like if you want a more marbled look, I recommend trying a watercolor cardstock. But sometimes for stenciling, I love the Stark White cardstock because if you want like the crispest lines in your stencil and you just want a smooth coating of that mica, that's a good option to just use the Stark White because it sinks right in and it'll capture those crisp lines really nicely.
Gosh, I wish you could see this. You know what this reminds me of? I use the Beluga, and the shine reminds me of, what is that? The kind of light that bright white tennis shoes like shine in. What is that when it's dark? It's dark.
Oh, like the black light?
Yes, the black light. It's kind of that kind of shine on it. I don't think you can see it. I think you can see a little bit,
Yeah, just a
a
little
little
bit
bit.
maybe. Mine,
But it's
mine a
in
little,
person. It's much more obvious. Oh, that's
yeah,
pretty.
much tinier. So yeah, it's already sunk into the Stark White, and then here it's
Yes.
still liquidy on the watercolor. So just test out different cardstocks to see how it'll work. Like I said, different techniques. You'll like different cardstocks better. I'll even show just on the black cardstock. This is the alcohol ink black cardstock. Some blacks might be different. I find that black cardstocks don't soak in as much though, which is nice because you can get that marbled look. Because there's kind of a coating on a lot of black cardstocks just to make it that black color. So it tends to sit on top of the surface and give you that kind of marbled look. And there you can see that color really beautifully too.
It has a fine mist. The bottle does too. So if you wanted, you can hold up higher and do a fine mist and just get, here, I'll do it. I don't want to waste all my paper, but you can see how I got a fine mist up at the top, but then you can do more of, a general spray. Look at that.
Yes.
That's so pretty.
Yep.
So pretty.
And I love that about it, that you can kind of back that spray bottle up and do a much finer mist if you want to just cover something lightly with spray and not have it like take over the card completely. So I'm just gonna set these off to the side to let them dry. These are cool for like just die cutting things out of. I love die cutting like words
Sure.
out of the sprayed backgrounds, and it creates just a beautiful look. All right, I'm gonna set these off to the
So
side.
I'm playing here. Oh, that's cool. So this is like okay, it's hard to describe. I wanted to test this on the cardstock that I felt that it would not work great on. This is, it's a beautiful color. I use it a lot in my videos. It's Altenew Azurite, and it's a lighter weight cardstock. So I didn't think it would take the spray well, but I did the Cross My Heart, which is like a pinkish. Look at that.
That's
Isn't
stunning.
that beautiful? So really, if you're looking straight on it, you don't see that color until you tilt it around. That's really
Yeah,
cool.
and I didn't even really see, this is why it's great to have two minds here. I didn't even really think about that. I always used to talk about solar paste and how you can kind of shift with different colors, but it's cool to spray on a colored cardstock and then spray with like an opposite color like you just
Opposite,
did
yeah.
to get that really beautiful look.
That's fun. Now, see, I think this could be really fun because you can get different colors on your colored background that go with your project but aren't too distracting. So I did some green on the corner.
Oh, that's beautiful.
That's neat.
And
The
they
green is
blend well too, which is awesome.
Yeah. I'm going to do some golden. The green is the crocodile tears, which we've discussed that Simon wins the award for the best named colors. That's for sure. And then I did the golden hour there in this side.
Oh, that is stunning. All right, I'm going to do what you're doing and just spray some colors on.
What?
And
Yeah,
I'm using,
so the black I'm using is the Tim Holtz Distress black cardstock, and he's using the Ranger alcohol black cardstock. Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's the same.
Okay.
Is it that velvety kind of smooth black cardstock?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. So yep,
Okay.
it's the same thing, just packaged differently. But yeah,
Okay.
if you want it in bigger sheets, then get the distress cardstock, and it's the same thing.
I highly recommend. This is actually a good time to save, because using the Ranger code that's in my description, you can get that black cardstock. I have it linked in the description below. It's the black I always talk about in videos that is super dark black. Oh, that's so cool. Super dark black, and it has kind of a velvety feel to it that is outstanding. And anybody who has used this cardstock, I know, will agree with me. I think it's great. And it holds up, because it's so heavyweight, it holds up really well to all that we're doing here. So what did you just do?
So this is a navy colored cardstock from Spellbinders' new color wheel cardstocks. I like them because they're really thick. So you can test it on different weights like you did, because then the Altenew cardstock's a little bit thinner, but it still takes that spray well. But here I'm using that navy color, and I just sprayed down with a couple different shades like you did to kind of blend together. And it almost looks like a galaxy. It's so pretty.
Oh, that's beautiful. Hold on, let me put here. Can you tilt that some more? I want to do that close up.
Yes. Yep. And then I just use this Ranger heat tool to help dry it. You don't need to help dry it along in the process. I like this one though because it's quiet and it's less focused, so it kind of doesn't push around the spray as you're drying it, which is nice.
Yes, Gina agrees. 10,000% agrees with that kind of the velvety feel of the cardstock. It's really fun.
Yes.
There it is. Brianne put it in the chat if you guys wanted to see it, because you can use your discount code. Oh, this is fun with the different colors.
I love this. And then, even on top of this like busy background, I found that sometimes you could still grab a stencil. So this is Geo Circles, and I'm just going to use one layer of the stencil. And I like it because you can spray like an opposing color on top of it and get sort of a subtle look of that color. So I'm going to use Royal Flush on top. Just shake it. And you'll want to shake just a little bit in between just to make sure that nothing's settled at the bottom. And then I can spray this like on top of that yellow color. And don't be afraid to mix the micas either. I find that they don't really make mud because mica doesn't blend like an ink would necessarily. And then I'll dry this. And now you have that like pattern building on top of the sprays, but it's still nice and subtle because it's just in another color of that solar spray. Super fun. I love that. So then check that out. You get just little hints of that pattern all throughout here, and it really starts to like build up the background beautifully. That's
awesome. So do you recommend over stencil just spraying it, or have you ever tried to use like hi Andrew, ever tried to use like a foam, like a sponge tool to add it, or do you always just spray?
I haven't tried a sponge tool. Usually I just spray just because it's really super easy, but a sponge tool would be cool too because you would get like a more, maybe like a cleaner effect even on top of it. But I find that the spray works pretty well.
Okay. Some folks asked, this is Spellbinders Violet cardstock. Mike, can you add Spellbinders cardstock to the link list? Their new cardstock, Simon and I were talking about it before we went live. We both like their new cardstocks because they're heavyweight and they designed them to be super smooth. So they're good for like blending or using a foil machine or whatever. All right.
It's really fun, yeah. And then you could always take like a second layer of that stencil.
Yeah.
Probably getting a little ahead of myself here, but if you want to, you could throw a little bit of paste through. So this is that frostbite color in the Astro paste. It's like a clear glitter. And this is fun because you can sort of go in here and it's not going to take over the background. And I can just layer on more of that paste in different areas. And it really starts to build up the layers.
Wow.
And then you get that really beautiful texture. And that's going to dry clear.
That's going to dry
Instead of
clear.
white. And then it'll kind of blend in, but still give you like texture there. And it kind of
And,
goes in between some of the other patterns that we did here. Really,
and what
really.
colored solar paste was that?
So this one's Astro Paste. It's the glitter paste, and then this one's Frostbite. So it's a clear glitter. So once this dries, it'll just kind of give you like a candy coating on top of it almost.
Kevin asked, once they're dry, are the sprays permanent?
Once they're dry, they are permanent. It depends on the cardstock that you use. Sometimes mica tends to sometimes rub off. Like on this cardstock, it doesn't. So that Spellbinders cardstock is super absorbent. But the velvety, smooth black cardstock that we were talking about, that's from Ranger. That one, it tends to kind of come off on your finger a little bit more because it has more of kind of a coated surface. But you can always like spray it with a fixative. And then that will kind of keep it in too. But on like cardstocks that are super absorbent, like Stark White or this cardstock from Spellbinders, it tends to not wipe off at all.
Ooh, cool. Let me dry this. Oh, that's pretty. So this is actually, this is a Gina K stencil. It's from her recent kit. It's, where are all the, so it's just one of a set of layering florals. It's just the center of it. But I thought it'd be a fun pattern, so you can see that shine in the corner.
Oh wow! Is that and that's with the foam you applied it?
Yeah, yeah. So I just used like a Tim Holtz foam applicator, but then here, I don't know how I'll do with this because I haven't played with the sprays enough to see. Oh, that's gonna be pretty. Oh, I like the spray.
Oh, that's awesome.
So
yeah,
I
so
did it.
Gives more of like a mottled kind of look to it.
Yeah, and I like that. Like I could keep going to take that away, but I love that. It almost looks like there's texture to it, but it's just a spray.
That is stunning.
Oh, I love that. Oh goodness. Okay.
Okay, so I saw so I have to admit, as a card maker, whenever I started out, I would always be like, yeah, I'm a clean and simple card maker who just loves like inks and mediums, right? And now lately, I'll be like going to events and people will be like, oh, you're teaching a mixed media class, right? And I'm like terrified of that term. But I think these backgrounds that we're making right now feel a little bit more mixed media. But what I love about the spray, and we'll probably share some more card making techniques coming up here, you can make it really clean and simple too, or you can make it like a mess and really have fun layering and do all those types of things. So let's show a stenciling technique where you do like a layering stencil with some of the sprays, and then you can see how it's more clean and simple if you don't want like a mixed media background here. Because I saw a couple comments like, these aren't my backgrounds, but they're beautiful. And I feel what you're saying there. So I think that sometimes this can look less approachable until you kind of break it down with all different steps and can use it in a lot of different ways, right?
Well, one of the things I think that's important to remember, and I've done a lot of videos on my channel, and I know you have too, where it's fun to make a bunch of backgrounds like these, and then like yours that has all the different things going on in it. Once you trim that down a little bit, put it on a white note card with a little white trim showing around the edge, and add something to it, that's when it comes together. Sometimes when it's just a mixed media background, it's not special until you kind of clean it up, put a little white mat, and then add something. And I feel like when you do a fun background like this, or the one that you're working on there that's drying, you can just add simple white die cuts or white sentiment on it, and it'll be striking. Like you don't have to go over the top. And so don't be scared of backgrounds but this one, I mean, come on. Gosh, I wish you could see it.
All those are just so stunning, and you could even die cut out of that or put something on top of it. It's like really beautiful to just create backgrounds like that, have fun, and just kind of play around with your sprays, especially when you first get them too. And then like just to kind of test them out and kind of see how they're working on your cardstocks and things like that.
And I think this would be neat to just do some backgrounds like this that are more smooth, where I did more of a mist, and then die cut from that. And then you can like have a kind of shimmery sentiment on your card. Anyway, okay, sorry, I'm all over the place. All right, show us what you got here.
So I'm going to use an embossing folder that has a coordinating stencil along with it. You
Okay.
could just use a layering stencil too if you have just a layering stencil. I was gonna
Okay.
pull out these pretty petals, so if you have this one too, that one's like really pretty, but any layering stencil works.
Okay.
So I'm gonna throw this through my embossing folder with the black cardstock here. So you'll just wanna mist it down a little bit to make sure that your cardstock is kind of softened and ready for the embossing folder. And this one is called Birthday Party, or sorry, Party Balloons.
Oh, that's cute.
And I'm going to run this right through my platinum die cutting machine with the embossing sandwich here. So it's just the A plate, which is the base. Then you'll put your 3D embossing folder from Spellbinders, and then the D adapter plate.
Yep.
Every kind of embossing folder has a little bit of a different sandwich. So this works for the Spellbinders
Yeah.
one. And then you might want to check if you have a different embossing folder, what's going to work. And so this gives you a really stunning textured effect with these balloons on it. Love that. And then you can always dry off the water in between. So you get these beautiful balloons. I'm not sure if you can see. Is it catching a little bit?
A little bit, but we'll see it more when you're
Yeah,
when
so
you
then
add
once
to
you
it.
get the stencils out, it's really going to come to life here. So I like to use the Altenew sticky mat
Yeah.
to do my stenciling. It saves just so much time. So I'm going to
So
pull
will the
this guy
sprays
out.
clean off of it okay?
Yeah, the sprays clean off really well. I just
Okay.
just a quick wipe. They're not
Yep.
like so like the pastes are a little nerve-wracking to use on different things because you have to clean them right away. Whereas the spray on like a surface like this or your glass craft mat that's not cardstock, not porous, it'll
Yep.
still clean off after a little while with just some water, which is great.
Okay.
And then so each one, this has a layering stencil that coordinates, and so each one of these layers colors in the balloons a little bit differently, so in a different color. And so I'm just going to lay this down on top of these hearts. And I love this layering stencil because it's a lot of solid areas, so you really get to see that kind of marbled effect. And I'm going to go in here with 2 colors. So just shake them up a little bit once they're mixed, and then I'm going to go
Which
and
2
cross my
colors you
heart
got?
with a little bit of golden hour.
Okay. I might use the same, actually. Let's see.
And so when you spray through a stencil especially, I like to take my sprayer and I just like move it as I'm spraying. So it gives you a nice, oh, this one's already running low. Let me grab another. So it gives you a nice finer mist if you keep the spray moving as you do it.
Okay.
And then less will get underneath the stencil, because if you spray like a puddle on top of your stencil, it'll probably
Yeah.
seep underneath. So I just
Yeah.
mist and then keep it moving as I mist like this to get a nice smooth color.
All right, let's. Oh, that's so pretty. That's so pretty. Okay.
So fun, right?
I'm using layering stencils. So I didn't use an embossing folder. I'm just doing layering stencils. These are from Gina. Oh, that's so pretty.
Nice. All right, and yeah, just cleans off with water once you're done. All right. And then I'm gonna just keep that mixing Lego.
I sprayed a good amount down, so this might take a second to dry, but that's okay.
Yeah, and then once
these
it starts
do look pretty.
drying, it really, like that shimmer really starts to come to life too. It's beautiful.
This is pretty.
Oh, that is so stunning.
So this is a floral layering. Sorry, we both heat setting there. But this is a floral layering stencil, so I thought I'd try if I can layer different things on top of each other here.
That's so
Somebody
beautiful.
did ask earlier. Can you, once it's dry, can you stamp on top of it like a silhouette kind of image?
Yes. So
Yes.
once it's dry, you can stamp on top of it. It will look like slightly hazy-ish when you tilt it because that mica will kind of take over, but you can totally see the image, especially when you're looking at it straight on.
Great. Okay. And do you even bother with a fixative, or do you just leave it?
I just leave it. It doesn't
Yeah,
seem
me
like
too.
enough mica to like really make anyone mad or ruin anyone's day, so I just leave it. But if you want to, you can totally mist it with a fixative. It just depends on the cardstock, like I said. So this black cardstock definitely wipes off a little more than others. So just depends on what type of surface you're using.
Sue asked, how do your sprays compare to Perfect Pearl sprays?
So the Perfect Pearl sprays are a solid mica, I believe. And so these have like a shifting mica inside of them. So when you tilt it in the light is when you're going to see the color with these, but when you look at them straight on, they look almost like hazy or like whitish, and then you get that glow once you tilt it. So same with this, you're looking at my surface right now, and it doesn't look like much until you kind of tilt it, and then you get to see all that beautiful color there. Oh yeah, that purple is beautiful.
Yeah. Here, I'm going to mute myself.
And yeah, so this is why I wanted to show this kind of like layering technique, because I feel like this is more card maker friendly, you know, with layering stencils and stuff. Like if you don't want to get into the mess, this might be a good way to kind of dip your toes into like messier techniques or making kind of busier backgrounds, is using them with layering stencils, because it kind of gives you those like training wheels to practice with the sprays before you do anything kind of crazy with them. So like check that out. And it just stays inside the lines of that stencil. And I love that it's embossed too, because you get all that texture along with the color of the sprays, which is beautiful. I love it. Oh, that is so stunning. Oh, you're still on mute. If you're saying anything, you're still on mute.
Sorry. So I do that all the time. So this is the beluga, the blue. And then on top I did the Royal Flush, which is purple. I think what I would do next time is I would do like blue on the bottom and then do like gold, something contrast, so you could see the difference more. You can see the difference between the purple and the blue, but not as much as if they're just close in color on the rainbow. I think actually it probably would have been, but that's okay. I think this is beautiful because it ends up giving you more shine because I doubled up at the center or at the base of the petals. So I think that's great.
It's so pretty. I love that blue color with that floral. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, this is a beautiful floral. And again, this floral is called the Mega Blooms 4, but it is from Gina's most recent kit. So it's only available right now in the kit. And I'm supposed to do the leaves next. Goodness gracious.
Oh, I love this. Oh my gosh. And don't be afraid to mix colors. So like here on this layer, I used crocodile tears and beluga. Here I used orange and yellow, and then the yellow and red. So don't be afraid to mix those colors to get like a new color. It almost created like a teal, like layered together like that. That's really cool.
And that doesn't take, what you did doesn't take a whole lot of time. That amazing background. All you need is a sentiment on it. Right?
Yeah, super quick. And it's like, there's no guesswork in it. There's no questioning whether your layers look good because it's all part of a layering stencil. So it really makes it like kind of foolproof. So if you're just trying out sprays and it's new to you, I remember when I first saw sprays, I wanted nothing to do with them. But then once you kind of learn what you can do, you know, like it's just such a cool medium, and it's so quick and easy to do too. Just spraying through that stencil. I love that.
Oh, that's going to be pretty. Yeah, I'm really liking this kind of bubbly look. I think it gives this look of texture that is just beautiful. There's the leaves. Oh my goodness, that's fun.
Oh, that's so pretty. And then see, I even love, like if I'm using a layering stencil, I love to go in with like one of the last layers. So like this stencil has these little lines in it that kind of give a highlight. And so I'll go in with this last layer, and I'll just go in with a paste, because the paste, like I said, is whiter. It has like more of a white base than the sprays do. The sprays have more of a clear base. And so even if I go in with like a solar paste on top, which I'll do here, I'll use the Golden Hour solar paste. This is still going to stand out a lot compared to the solar spray because it's a completely different base, and then it'll also give a lot of texture too. So really fun. I'm just going to hold this down as I do it though, because it is on an embossed background, so it's still got texture. And then I'll just go through that stencil and add those little lines all throughout for some texture.
That's going to add great detail to it. So Simon and I are both working on an Altenew sticky mat here. It's just something that we both like using because it holds your stencil in place, holds your cardstock in place, but you could do these sprays on whatever you want. Like I work on a glass work surface here. The advantage of doing these sprays on a glass work surface is when you have leftover spray on the glass, you can drag a background through it. And then I did that with this one, and you can see some of it there. But what I'll do is I'll keep doing that and keep building up all my excess on this, and then you'll have a beautiful background. So you can get the overspray by, just dragging paper through that. But we just decided to work on this because we're working with stencils. Oh, that's incredible. Erica,
It's so
thank
fun,
you.
right? And then it'll
That
give
is
like a
beautiful.
yellow, it'll give more of a yellow shine once it's dry, but like I said, it stands out more than the paste, and then like just create such a stunning effect. I'm so obsessed. It's so fun to play with
Oh,
a new
that's
color
beautiful.
and really get to use it because I've had these for a year and a half before I was able to share them with you guys, and it's like I'm just dying to try all the things and share them, and so this is just so much fun to kind of experiment with.
So I'm going to tell you what you need to do to finish that background. You need my favorite dyes of yours.
Oh, those are the best, right?
These are, I've used these a lot. In fact, there are stuck, I'll show you. Hold on, let me see if I can switch. They're in my cabinet door right here. I have magnetic strips going down, and they are permanently there, so I don't even have to go find the package.
That's amazing.
They're stuck right on there.
It's one of my favorite die sets too, and they're like the perfect size. They're not too big, not too small, and then this like really kind of modern-looking script that works with like so many different. It'll work beautiful with this. So I'll do that after the live. I'll put the card together, and then I'll share pictures.
Yeah, you could keep it simple, white and black. You could even put shimmer on the top of the black. But I wanted to mention this because if you've watched my videos, I use these. They're called the Everyday Sentiments a lot. This is from Simon's line with Spellbinders, and they're on sale right now. So check that out. And I think Spellbinders has an additional 15% off clearance. I don't know if these are in the clearance section, but I do know they're on sale. So, and there's, what are the words in there again?
So you get hello, hugs, birthday, and then happy. So happy birthday, thanks, thank you, and then thinking of you. And then you can have love you too. So lots of different words, and then each one has a shadow die too to make it really stand out from the background beautifully. It better not be going to clearance because this is one of my favorites. I'm like, I can't retire this one. This one's got to stay forever.
I don't think they are, but I looked and I believe they're on sale. So,
sweet. Always good for a good deal, right?
Yeah. We need to save where we can. And it's one that I've used so many times in videos. And one of those that I have die cut a bunch and assembled off screen so that they're ready to go at any time. Okay, so this time I did golden hour on top of crocodile tears for that little bit of gold there. And you can see the difference between the two more.
That's stunning.
Okay. Does Simon's Balloons have a stencil for the strings coming down too?
The strings do not have a stencil. We try to give you stencils wherever we can, but the strings were just like too overlapping that like you would have 8 stencils by the time we finished it, and we didn't want to waste your money like that. So we just made it so that the balloons you have, and then you could always like use a paint pen or just a marker to kind of fill in the balloon lines if you want to emphasize those. But I tend to just leave it without, and you can see the balloon lines in real life a lot more than you can in live, but it just has texture to it. So then it doesn't draw your eye to them, which I kind of like. Oh, I think you're muted again.
Gosh, I tell you, Simon, this is what happens when you get old, Simon. This is what happens. And you're throwing things around. I can hear it.
Exactly. So, everything just fell.
So I intentionally wanted that kind of bubbly look. I love that. But remember, you can spray these to be more of a smooth mist if you want to. You just hold. you press, so what happens is when you press the bottle, you press all the way down and higher up to get a mist. But I kind of did closer and kind of did a little bit of more gentle, slower presses, and that gives you more of that textury look. Isn't that pretty? So this is Gina's, and while Simon shows whatever he's showing next, I am going to do the flowers with 2 more contrasting colors because somebody wanted to see that. Carolyn said these are dangerously great.
I love that. I'm so glad you guys enjoy them as much as I do. I was like really excited to launch these because they just do the coolest techniques that you wouldn't, usually be able to do with like the paste or anything like that. So it opens up a whole new world of opportunities.
And I'll be honest with you, Simon. I love me some paste, but I don't like cleaning up paste because it requires me to walk out to the sink. So this is nice because I don't have to.
Right? It makes it so easy. It's so fun.
You don't have to hurry about cleaning it up.
For my next technique, I'm going to show how it looks on white cardstock. I think that's kind of important. It'll be hard to see, but then after the live, again, I'll take pictures so you guys can really see what's going on here. But for this technique, I want to add a little bit of texture to the white cardstock first. So I'm going to use the Typewriter background stamp. This has a bunch of typewritten words that kind of have some character to them. And then there's also like sentences in here, so you could like always chop out certain things that you want, but really as a background, you're not supposed to, really want to read it. So it's kind of just a great poem on there. And then I'm going to go in with some archival ink, if I can find it. And to stamp this, I'm going to just give it some texture with the black archival ink, but I'm just going to swipe the ink and then leave out certain areas on purpose so that it doesn't ink perfectly. And this will give you like a textured stamped background that's not perfect, which I love.
I'm a big fan of text background stamps, and I'm excited to have a new one. I was looking at it, and I have some that are like themed right now. I like that it's just a general one you could use for a lot of things.
Right, yeah, I wanted it like that so that it, like I said, it is like a poem, like it actually does read, but I wanted it so that you can just stamp it random and have that if you want to, but you can also cut out words and like art journal with it if you want to, but it just gives you lots of opportunities. So this is how it looks. When you swipe the black, it doesn't give you that full impression. It just gives you kind of like a gray look and then leaves out some of the areas so it really looks kind of distressed and really it adds a lot of texture.
That's awesome. Okay, so I like the Royal Flush, that purple, into purple lately, so I'll just do that as the base. I did a lot more this time, so it's going to be a little bit more of a messy look than last time, but I will heat set that, and then we'll do gold on top of it. So you can keep going with, I'm going to heat set this. This will take me a bit to heat.
Okay, sweet. And then I'll go in and let's see. I'm going to use a stencil. Let's use this one. This one is called In Bloom, and it's got 3 different layers of these florals that layer up to create a really beautiful background. And I'm just going to take a couple of these layers and kind of spray them separately, not necessarily as this was intended. So this time I'm just going to use a little bit of tape to hold down my stencil. You don't need nearly as much tape as you would with like a paste per se. So I'm just going to tape this down to hold it in place. And then let's go through and spray. Now I'm on my stark white cardstock because I want this to seep right in and be really nice, crisp lines. So that's why I'm using the stark white, but you can use whatever you want. I'll give my mists just a little bit of a shake. And then I'll just go in and just kind of mist over top of this, and I'll just use a bunch of colors, just probably a whole rainbow assortment across the design here. And you don't need to be perfect. You can
what stencil is that again?
This one's called In Bloom. So it's layers of these 3 like floral designs that you can layer on top of each other, or you can kind of use them separate and create a beautiful background. Green.
Okay, there we go. Now this one, I'll do I'm going to do, so I did Royal Flush first, and this time I'm doing Golden Hour on top, just so we can kind of see layering with more contrast. Now I did more of a watercolory look, but I think it'll still be fun to see the difference. Oh yeah, you can see that.
Brightness. Yeah, I'm turning down my brightness just a little bit here, just so you can see. Now you can really start to see where that spray comes in there. And you can see that in that design, you can see the different colors like that red, yellow, and then purple and green over here. So I'm going to just set that off to the side because I want to show you too, if you have any excess with sprays on it, on your stencil, you can always use that for another background. So I'll just pull out another piece of black cardstock here. I'll spray this down with just a little bit of water to get it moving, and then just place that down. And I'm going to set this off to the side just so that that dries before I lift it off. If you lift it off before it dries, it's going to just like pull that spray off. But if you let it dry, it'll kind of seep into the cardstock in that area and create that design. So I'll just let that dry.
So you like to leave it instead of pulling it off?
Yeah, just when you're doing kind of a background like that where you're using the excess, because I find that if you pull it off, it lifts the spray and we'll just leave it in some areas rather than everywhere.
Gotcha. Wait, Brienne, what are you saying? You have a petition for what's your petition you're petitioning? I saw she's collecting autographs or signatures.
Oh, she said she wants to change the name of Royal Flush to Brienne's favorite shade of purple. we need a couple signatures on that, Brienne, and then we'll switch it over.
Yeah, she's one of those. She and Libby and Lila and a few others love purple, so I've been trying to do more purple. Somebody, keep going. There was a question. I'll find it, but go ahead.
Sweet. So here's how this looks. I just turned down the brightness so you guys can really see it, and this is what it looks like more in person. And then you can also really see the colors more in person. It kind of just looks like a white shine, but in person you can see each individual color. But then it's really cool because you look at it straight on and you can just do that text, and then you look at it in the light and you get those florals. So really fun, super cool background. And then I'm going to
That's going to be beautiful photograph. That's one of those you're not going to be able to see.
Right? Until the photograph comes and then you're like, wow, like that's amazing shine. And then I'm going to layer this up and use the smaller floral, but shift it so that it's kind of in the centers. It's not what the layering stencil was necessarily meant to do, but you can do whatever you want with these stencils.
Absolutely. That's the best part about like geometric or repeating patterns.
Right? Yeah. I think that's so much fun. Like if people want to get more use out of their products, just take one stencil set that's layering and challenge yourself to just like use it in a bunch of different ways, and you'd be surprised what you could come up with and how many different ways you can apply it down. I think it's really fun.
Hi, Christopher. Christopher likes your prom night color.
Hey, Christopher. Okay, so it's called Prom Queen, but Christopher loves to harass me and call it Prom Night. It's his fave to say that, and he said that I should have named it Prom Night, and so in his mind, he changed the name.
That sounds about that tracks with him. That tracks with him. He's trouble. He's trouble. And somebody asked Simon what color that was that you just did?
I just sprayed a little bit of Cross My Heart on this side, and then a little bit of Royal Flush up in the top corner. And then the other ones beforehand were just kind of like a rainbow across the card.
And I'm just playing. Here. Yeah, we got a lot of purple lovers here today. People are they are very polarized when it comes to purple and yellow and orange.
Oh,
those are the ones.
I didn't used to like purple, but lately it's been really good. Especially like a nice dark, really rich shade of purple. I love.
Yeah, I'm into like the bluish purple.
Yes.
Or blue with the purple to it. Like this is that azurite that I used before from Altenew. I'm just digging that color lately.
Oh, that's gorgeous. Yeah, it's one of my favorites. I'm working with a lot of color behind the scenes right now. I can't say why yet, but I'm working with a lot of color. I got a lot of purples on my mind. So all these purple colors we'll get some good colors soon. Oh, that's so stunning. So is that just a light mist from above?
Yeah, it's a light mist, but I also made sure there were some like bigger droplets too. This is Golden Hour with Gina's Bold Bouquet.
That's
pretty.
beautiful.
That's gorgeous. And all you would have to do is like add a sentence. You know what this would actually be pretty is if you stamped over this once it's dry with your text, stamp over the whole thing, and maybe stamp it in, you could stamp it in black, or you could do like white, but I'm really into layering layering different textures together.
Yeah. I'm
Or
gonna try
looks
that.
of texture
That'd be
together.
really fun. I have this background that I made the other day. It's with like all the colors on this floral design. It's called Pretty Petals. So you get lots of different layers in here. There's actually a layer I didn't do yet, but I want to try what you just said because I think that would be really fun. So I'm gonna take this text and then see what it looks like. I haven't stamped on top of the paste yet. I stamped a sentiment the other day, but that doesn't really count. So I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna swipe with the
So wait,
archive.
that was done with sprays, right?
Yep.
Okay, so you're gonna stamp, and what do you stamp? What ink is that?
This is just archival, so it'll be permanent on top.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna just drop it right onto the background and see what we get here. And I kind of swiped it again, so maybe get a distressed look here. We'll see. Oh, that's pretty.
Yeah.
Oh, it's kind of
Look at
light. Maybe
that.
I should have stamped it full power, but you can see just that
Yeah.
little bit of text in there. Especially when it's tilted like this, you can see that texture. But I probably should have stamped it full power and then, but yeah, you can definitely see it in quite a few of those areas where that text is kind of showing through.
That's pretty.
And then when you tilt it, the shine sort of takes over the text.
That's awesome.
Really pretty.
So we can stamp on these, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Somebody did ask, how are these different than distress spritzes?
Yeah, so the Distress Spritz, those, to my knowledge, also have more just regular micas in them. So they're not like I think they can be translucent when you kind of spray them lightly, but I think they have more of a color to them when you're looking straight on. Whereas these, when you're looking straight on, are more hazy. So these have more of like a shifting kind of power to them.
I'm just crazy about this one. Let me switch it. Look at that.
Oh, check that out.
I just love it. Maybe I'll stamp on this when it dries. Look at so tell us again how you did that one.
So this was, I sprayed through this In Bloom stencil, and then I took the excess spray that was still on my stencil, because there's still a lot when you lift off your stencil, and I just flipped that onto a piece of cardstock. You'll want to let the cardstock dry though, because you see how the like mica is really kind of buckled around the design and you get a really clean and crisp design. I left the stencil on top of there until it was completely dry and then peeled it off. And that's going to give you this clean look, whereas if you peel it off otherwise, it's just going to kind of pull that mica off and move it with the liquid. But this is gorgeous. I love it.
That's
So
beautiful.
stunning. And then it
That's
doesn't look like much when you look at it straight on, and then so stunning.
So somebody asked about the stencils. The stencil that you just used, what's that one called again? I'm terrible at this.
So the one I stamped on is called Pretty Petals. This one that I've been using on the text background here is called In Bloom, and this one has 3 different layers of sizes. And then you can always take like the other size and put it
Oh, yeah.
inside flowers.
Oh,
So lots of ways to use
paste there. Yeah. So it'd be fun, like with that layering stencil set that you're using, you could do like spray for one layer, then you could do different pastes for the other layers. So you don't have to stick to one medium.
Yep,
The
and that's what
stencil
I
that
like.
I used, the stencil that I used for this one is Gina K Bold Bouquet. It's a much older stencil.
That one's gorgeous. I love that.
I know what I want to do.
And I like to mix and match the sprays and the paste because if you apply a bunch of paste underneath stencils, sometimes that second and third layer can be like too thick that it's pushing the stencil up, and then it might not give you as clean of a look. Whereas if you use sprays for the first couple layers and then you bring in a paste, it doesn't have that issue because the sprays are kind of flat on the surface there.
Gotcha. Somebody asked about, is my mat stained? That blue stain there is not from these sprays. I'm finding these wipe off the stain because the liquid isn't colored, right? So
Right. Yep.
the mica wipes off. The blue stain that you see there is from some blue ink that I did. These mats will stain. They just do. They do, and it's just the nature of it. It means it's a good material, and it's kind of like good quality stamps will stain also. And it's just, we just learn to embrace it. It means you've used it often.
Which is always a good sign.
Yes.
And so I'm just going through using Stippled and Wet Astro Paste. So this is going to give you like a golden sparkle to it. It's going to be beautiful. I love this. I love that we're just crafting together, and it's not, we're sharing so many techniques, but we're just having fun crafting, which I think is the awesome part of
Absolutely. This is what would happen if we lived close. I need to move up there because you're by Gina, and the three of us could just play.
Right. That would be fun.
Kelly asked, while you're doing that, what's the difference between Astro Paste and Solar Paste?
Oh, good question. Okay, let me pull out some swatches once I'm done with this, and then I'll show you the complete difference. So the main difference is that Astro Paste is made with glitter and a clear base, and the Solar Paste is a white base that can be clear at some points, and then
Oops, sorry.
it has mica inside of it instead of the glitter. So the mica is exactly what's in the solar spray too. And let's see, do I have the glitter ones here? Oh, I don't have my glitter swatches, but with the Astro Paste, you get tons of glitter and sparkle. And then with the Solar Paste, you get a more smooth look that just has more shine to it. So like this on here at the very top was that Solar Paste, and you get that cool kind of yellow glow. Whereas the glitter paste, you can see the glitter paste gives you tons of sparkle to it. You can see just a little bit there. That's not even full sparkle either. All right. So what you really need to know is Astro Paste is glitter, and the Solar Paste is a shifting mica. That's kind of the bottom line. All right, I'm so excited to reveal this. Oh, that's stunning. I love that. And these have kind of like a haze to them, so you're not going to see the full glitter effect until it's dry.
Yeah.
But check that out.
Because Astro Paste, it almost looks like it's in a white paste with glitter in it, but when it dries, it's just glitter. It's just the colored glitter.
So the clear base starts out white, just so we could get it similar to the other formula of the other pastes. Because if you do a clear base, sometimes it feels a little bit jello-y. So I wanted it to feel exactly the same. So it starts out white, and then it'll dry really glittery and shiny.
Nice, nice. So here I did, so on this one, I think one of the things you got to keep in mind when doing this over stencil, here I did a light mist. I didn't overspray. I didn't put too much down. This one, I did golden hour, and then it's not completely dry, Cross My Heart, and then I did the royal flush in the corner, so I would have that blend, but I did more spraying there. And you get more of a watercolor look as opposed to this one, which keeps the detail. So if you want to keep more of the detail like this, just spray less. You could always spray it lightly, remove the stencil, dry it, and if you decide you want more, put the stencil back down, but it's harder to take it away. So, okay, so some folks are asking about the Lunar Paste then.
So the Lunar Paste is not a shifting mica. The Lunar Paste is a solid mica. So there's neon Lunar Paste and regular Lunar Paste. The neon is, of course, going to be super bright and bold and have a little bit of a shine to it. And the regular Lunar Paste is going to be more of like a metallic shine. But the Lunar Pastes are all solid. So think of them as really opaque mica pastes that are really shiny, but they're not going to be transparent.
Okay, I'm going to try something. Here we go.
Right.
Okay.
Also, all the pastes are pretty heat stable as long as you keep the heat still moving. So this is the Astro Paste, what it looks like once it's dry. You can see a lot more of that sparkle, and it's just gorgeous. I love it.
That's cool. And you got that kind of unique look of with the stencil because you left it on there while it dried some.
Yep. Yeah, but it creates such a better look than just pulling it off right away because you get more of that
Yeah.
mica. And then this is what that beginning background that I was making earlier is starting to look like. That
Yep.
Astro Paste is dry now, and you can see it kind of blends in. It's more of just like a candied icicle kind of effect in those areas. It's really pretty. I love
Awesome.
that. Let's see.
I am going to be bold. I love this. I think this is so cool.
That's gorgeous. So stunning.
All right, what was I looking for? Oh, my magnets. I move things. I've been organizing, and I move them, and then I never can remember where I put them.
No, that is too relatable. My floor right now is crazy. There's so much on it. I've been like jumping around from spot to spot to try to get to my desk because it's a disaster in here.
I think we can all relate to that. I have a bunch of teenagers coming over tonight, like 70 teenagers, and they hang out right outside my craft room. So I have to get all of my stuff that's outside of the craft room in here. So that it's always something. All right. Let's see, Mike, were there quite... Oh, yeah, that Gina stencil, it might be sold out, but Gina has a lot of stencils that have this kind of floral look. Quite a few, so you can check out some of the others. But I know a lot of us have there are so many great stencils out there, a lot of them, that just look at your stash and what you think would work well with it.
Totally. I'm going to show what the spray looks like over top of ink now. So I'm just going to blend on a couple of inks.
Okay.
Starting off with Clear Skies here. And these inks blend like butter. I love them.
Yeah, okay. Something that I feel I need to say, because you introduced me to it in the last live. And so I went off screen. When we got off the screen, I went and I bought a ton of your stark white cardstock.
Oh, yeah.
And I used it, and then I went and I bought more because it needed its own like shelf, like just for it, because I really like it. His stark white cardstock, which is in the description below, and you get that 15% off right now. It is super smooth. And if you ever have trouble getting a good stamped image or a good blended image, the key is the paper. The key is the paper, and his is super, super smooth. Yeah, a lot of people are agreeing with that. This is Simon's new text background stamp. What's it called?
It's called Typewriter.
Oh, look at that. So I stamped it with black ink.
When we had typewriters, but I called it Typewriter. I gotta play on the nostalgia, you know.
Yeah, look at that. You can see it in the leaves.
Gorgeous.
And it just gives more interest to the background. So now this, I would just trim. I'd trim it down, put on a white note card, and then just do like one of those everyday sentiments just right there at the center. I wish those were all in here. Another one that would be good with this is your stippled background.
Oh, yes. That would be great for that.
That would be pretty on it too. Or your pinstripe too. All right. I'll do some. All right, I'm just looking. And Simon's inks, I know Christopher loves your inks. So I bought all the ones that I didn't have, and I put a spot, and I've swatched them all. And they're beautiful colors. I've heard that Christopher loves them for blending.
Yes, they're like I went with the chemist, and I was like, I need these to blend super smooth. And so yeah, it's a mix of the cardstock and the ink. The cardstock has no coating, so it makes it really easy to like layer the inks as much as you want. And then the ink just blends so seamlessly into one another. So here's a blend I created with Clear Skies, No Diving, Midnight Snack, Tropical Tango, and then Fake Plant. And I'm going to show you what the spray looks like over top of the inks, because it kind of reacts with the inks a little bit, and then it'll give you a really cool look. So this stencil is called Grand Greenery. It's like this kind of leaf design coming in from all the edges. And I'm going to spray it over top of this.
Oh, that's going to be neat. Oh, look at those die cuts.
Oh, I love that color too.
This is where it just gets fun. Look at
What
that.
color purple is that? Oh, you
That was
sprayed.
the
That's the
first
first one
one.
you sprayed? Oh, wow. That's gorgeous.
So you could do it either way. You could spray first and then die cut, and then you get these shimmery die cuts, or you could spray after, and then some of that will kind of creep into some of the indentations. But
Wow.
anyway,
That's beautiful.
let me try that. Yeah.
And then when I spray, I like to just pull in colors that are really similar to the background. You could also do opposites if you want, but I'm going to pull in some
Okay.
of the blues and green and yellow for this background.
Okay, so oh yes, they are made in the US. I think that's really important to talk about is Ranger makes their products in New Jersey, right? New Jersey?
Yep. Yeah, right in-house in New Jersey, which is really awesome. I love that they're made in the US, but it also means that they're made in like small batches too. So not necessarily with the sprays, but when it comes to the paste, it's really nice because sometimes things have dried out in the past and it's
Yep.
hard because they're coming from overseas. But like with Ranger, they're making like small batches of like 1,000 at a time. So they're not just sitting on a shelf for a long time, kind of drying up. You're getting them really fresh, which is great.
And that's one of the things I talk about a lot. Like the reason I don't like I wouldn't recommend getting inks or any of that kind of product from like a big box store is because they sometimes are in a warehouse and then in the back, in another warehouse. And by the time you get it, the product's been sitting around for a while. So another good thing is to get them from a small craft company or directly. Like in this case, you can get them directly from Ranger and they'll be nice and new. Yeah, they are made in the US. So I sprayed, so this one I did was the one I sprayed before, oh gosh, and die cut. And this one I just die cut and sprayed. This one just has blue on blue. So it's just shimmer.
That is so stunning.
Let's see, what else? By the way, this is a die set that I've been wanting to use from Spellbinders. In fact, I bought it and I couldn't find it. So I bought it again. I got it again. And I've set it out so I can remember to use it. And I noticed it's on sale right now. I think it's called Floral Spray. I have it linked below. But I just loved all the different layering. See these tiny little flowers that you can just use as accents, but then there's bigger flowers and there's 2 of each size, so you can layer them together nicely. That's pretty.
That's gorgeous. I love those die cuts with the spray that you did on it. It just brings them to life.
And you could do multiple colors. I'll tell you, I have been trying to organize the best I can. And one of the things that drives me crazy is I have too many specialty cardstocks, like pearly this, shiny that. So I'm embracing the kind of create your own like this so that I don't have a lot of that. Just be able to use my supplies in a different way and just skip having a bunch of different cardstocks. You can use the spray to do, to make your regular cardstock extra special.
Totally. And then it, like you said, it keeps down on costs, but then also like how many things you're having to throw in your craft room if you just kind of use white and make your own.
Absolutely. And I always, if I'm gonna, invest in a product, I want to know a few ways to use it. And so I need to thank you. Somebody asked what ink I stamped on here. I just used Obsidian black pigment ink from Altenew. That's what I always reach for black. You can see it black on black up here because it's still a little wet. It's a pigment ink, but once I heat set that'll be fine. That's really fun.
And then I'm just using the stencil. I sprayed it down with the spray, and now I'm going back in with the stencil with the same color of inks and layering it up. And don't be worried about the inks covering up the spray. The inks are translucent, so it just gives kind of a tone-on-tone look of even more depth, but then that spray is just gorgeous across there. I love it. And then last but not least, I'll just bring in a little tropical tango at the bottom here and add a couple more leaves.
And I still have your everyday sentiments here.
Oh, nice.
Still using those. So I'm building, thank you. Let's see here. I have a bunch of these pre-cut, but again in the other room and I have no idea where. Mike, were there some more questions that we can answer? Look at that. Okay. Can you go through all of it again? Just so we can make sure, because I want to make that later.
So I inked the background using a couple of colors of the Simon Hurley inks, and then I sprayed over top of it with the Grand Greenery stencil, and I used the green and the blue, and then a little bit of the yellow from a higher area, so you can see a little bit of gold in there too. I lifted that off, I dried in between layers, and then I just took the stencil and just took several pieces and parts and moved it and shifted it to blend on the exact same colors around the edge.
Okay.
And it just gives you like this really cool and unique depth, but it doesn't cover, like you'll notice it doesn't cover any of that spray, even where it overlaps, which is really great. The spray will always dominate the ink.
Okay, there you can really see, you can see that shift.
Mm-hmm.
And how the light catches it.
The bottom and then that blue up top. And then it's cool because when you look at it straight on, again, you can, like, it's kind of like a shot, like a ghost, where you can see that image and then you tilt it and you see all that beautiful shine and color. It's so cool. So I'm going to find a die cut that I can put on top of this. And I'll show you a fun technique with dies too.
Let's see. Does Ranger have replacement nozzles if it gets clogged? I believe Ranger has replacement nozzles, don't they?
Yes, they do have replacement nozzles. They're not in my line right now, but they will probably be soon. But if you, it'll be a 1 ounce spray nozzle, and then to put it inside of here, if it clogs, you just have to take the spray nozzle and just bend it a little bit. You'll notice that there's a bend in all of these, and then it'll fit at the bottom, and it'll spray perfect for you.
You know, I've found whenever I get any nozzle clogged, even like a glue nozzle, if I just run it under hot water for a while, it just seems to clear it out. I don't know. So that's always, then you don't have to buy a replacement.
Yeah, that's always a good bet to kind of start off with and see. I haven't had any mind clog yet. I tend to, just for safety measure, I tend to just take the nozzle after I'm done with it and just kind of wipe it off on a cloth. I don't know if that does anything, but it gives me a little peace of mind that there's no spray left on the nozzle.
Absolutely.
For a die on top of here, I'm going to use the Everyday Foliage set from my line of Spellbinders. These are, I just checked, they're still in stock and they're on sale on Spellbinders. So really great. But like these are just great focal point, like foliage images that are just really beautiful to layer up on a card. So I think I'm going to use maybe this leaf one at the side here. And they're a good size too. So they really cover a card nicely.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can just do a simple white die cut on top of one of those inked backgrounds, and you don't need to add much more. So there you can see how you do it.
Oh, that's stunning. Wow.
And then if you put it, I want it to dry more, but you could put it onto a white note card. That trim will, like a white note card trim, will really make that stand out even more.
That's crazy pretty. I love that.
But this one I just want to frame. I love this. So let me see.
And to die cut, I'm just going to use my new little Platinum Scout that I came up with Spellbinders.
It's so cute.
I love it, right? It's a little black version of their Scout machine. And I love the Scout. It's got our little names on the outside, but I love that the names too, they kind of blend in. They're like glossier, but the machine is matte. Oh, you got a little one too.
Yes.
And I like it because it looks sleek rather than having it in white, and it just blends in with your craft room beautifully. And then these have metal rollers in them, so it's just as strong as the larger one, which I love. I have been taking this little guy to Starbucks, doing all my work, doing all my die cutting.
I saw that.
It's fun.
I saw that. Ooh, this would be cool. Like, I'm gonna finish this one because I just think it's simple and it's stunning. Can you switch back to the regular feed? I just keep moving around playing with different things, but you know, that's how it goes. That's what I do. Yeah, this is great. I have mine out here and I've been using it. It's nice. The size of it is really nice.
Yes. Yeah, I like that it's small.
It's still meaty.
Yeah, but it's not too thin, you know, so you can still fit a lot of dies in it.
Yeah. Let's see here. Trim this a little bit. I think I want this just to have white trim on two sides. Do you ever do that?
Oh yes, I love a little side border instead of just all the way around. It switches things up a little bit.
Yeah, I think I'm going to do like a corner like that. Is that enough?
Oh, that's cool.
I'm going to do a little more. See, this is where Jennifer starts overthinking. Do you overthink? You don't overthink. You're too.
All the time. All the time,
Do
but not
you? Okay.
necessarily in card making, more with the product design side. Yeah, my whole team will
Okay.
tell you. Like, if I'm not responding to an email, I'm usually overthinking it, and you can just give me a call.
I get that. There we go. Let me cut a little more off and then we'll be good. Yeah, the gold floral. I mean, that was so easy to do. You could go and make a bunch of those. You know, do so many so quickly.
Right? It would be really pretty for even like a wedding card. Just so simple for like a little save the date or something.
And
then
it doesn't
easy
have to,
make.
yeah, it doesn't have to be on black. Like, I know like this color was the number one, uh-oh, I gotta find it. The number one color of weddings. Here it is. No, it's not. Did I run out? It's Briar Rose. You know Briar Rose? Where's
Oh,
my
yes.
Briar Rose? From Concord at Ninth. That was the number one wedding color last year. It's like a mauve. Oh,
Wow.
I'm out. Yeah,
That's
I'm out
pretty.
of it. Oh, wait, I have one sheet. I ordered more, but so you could do that on. It doesn't have to be on black. The reason I chose why we both did a lot on black is because it shows up more in video. But you definitely could do that on. So you could do the color of somebody's wedding, and kind of personalize it for that person. I got to treasure this last sheet here.
Yeah, and then it would show up like if you did like a gold against that briar rose, it would show up beautifully on them. That'd be pretty.
I don't know. Somebody asked how the size of this compared to the Sidekick from Sizzix. I don't know, but I think what makes this different than some other smaller die cut machines is this is like just a smaller version. It's still like a very meaty machine, a strong machine. I haven't seen a Sidekick in a long time, so I'm not really sure
I
how
think
it
the
compares.
size might have like 2 inch or something like that. This is like 3.5, I believe. So
Okay.
that's the reason why I did it with Spellbinders too. If I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really love small die cutting machines before I saw this one because it limits you so much on what you can put through it. But this one's still really wide that most dies can go through it, which is why
Okay.
I love it so much. I feel like I can cut a lot more on it, and then the plates are really long too, so you can fit like a couple things on it as you pass it through once.
Gotcha.
Also, I know people are gonna have questions. When these first came out, you had to like season them a little bit, which like run them back and forth through it before that. This was a different production run, so they're always trying to kind of improve on things. So you don't have to season this machine; it'll just come ready to go, which is awesome.
Oh, nice. That's nice.
And then I'm gonna spray my white die cut with a little bit of crocodile tears, so it just adds a little bit of shimmer. But like again, it'll just look white until you tilt it, which is awesome.
Oh, that's a good idea because you don't want to add anything like too distracting on top of that background, but just taking white die cut and give that shimmer to, or that color shifting kind of look to it in person, that will really stand out.
Yeah,
That's a great
totally. And
idea.
it makes it stand out because it's white, but then it still has that beautiful shine, which is great.
All right, here. So this is Altenew's. Have you been using this new foam tape?
Oh yeah, I love that. I've been using it in a
It's
lot of my
great.
videos.
This is Altenew's new 1/4 inch wide, and it has 2 thicknesses. This is the thicker, and then there's another that's thinner. And I really like it. It's easy to cut. It's easy to remove the release paper, and it holds up really well. So let's see. I think I'm going to go right there. This was easy. This was like the world's fastest card. But at least for me, because I don't normally. Look at that. Oof. Oh my
You
goodness.
made me reach for the everyday sentiments more. When I heard you talking about them in your live stream the other day, I was like, oh my gosh, that die set is so good, and I forgot that I had it. So I've been using it ever since.
Oh, it's the only. Okay, no, there are 2 sentiments sets on this magnetic like inside my cabinet. Only 2. Most of them are shapes, like nesting shapes. The Everyday Sentiments, and then Concord and Ninth, they're big ones, the bold ones that say big hugs, because I use that one a lot.
I
Kelly,
love a
thank
bowl.
you. Does the spray just clean up with water?
Yes, as long as your surface is non-porous, it'll clean up with water. If it's a porous surface like paper, it's not coming off, unfortunately.
Okay. Well, that's normal, I think.
Yeah.
That is normal. Okay. I love this. I love the shiny die cuts. Kind of digging that. Let's see. Now, you also, how does this work with resist? Like embossed resist?
Oh, yes. Okay. Good idea, because we had that prepared and I didn't talk about it yet. Okay, so
That's
I just
okay.
put this, I'll put this together after live, but this is sort of how this one's gonna look. I love that with that die cut. And then the hello. Beautiful. All right. So
Okay. You know my address, right?
exactly. It'll be on its way to you right after the live.
That's
I'm taking
beautiful.
pictures and I'm sending it your way.
That was beautiful. Beautiful. I love it. Okay.
All right.
Oh,
So
there we go.
let's talk about emboss resist quick because I want to
Okay.
show you, like with paste. So I think that sometimes people, like I said, think, I'm gonna water down my paste and get the same result. But the thing I always struggled with paste is techniques where you want it to resist. Like if you're coloring in an image or if you're doing a background and you want that paste to show up, but you want the background to like still have that design. Paste is difficult because you can rub it onto that surface there, but it's really going to cover up those letters. It's still, you can still see them kind of, but it
Okay.
doesn't highlight anything, right? You're just kind of like letting everything kind of blend together. Whereas
Right.
the sprays, because they're liquid, anything will bubble off of this. So I used the Moroccan tile background stamp from my line with Ranger. This one's an older one. You can use any sort of background stamp for this. I like it because it has some solid area, so it'll show this technique really well. And all that this technique really is I just want to show you, you can just spray the color just like normal.
Okay.
You gotta shake it up.
So that's clear heat embossed on black.
Yep, this is clear heat embossed on black. You could do clear on white too if you want. But I'll just show
Okay.
you, like, you spray this down, and you can already see it's starting to resist. And you just go throughout the background and spray however many colors you want down and kind of fill in that design like you usually would. But instead of covering it up like a paste would, it just moves out of the way, and that spray, because it's liquid, will resist the embossing. So it's really cool for a technique like this where I've always wanted to do this with paste, but it just doesn't work. And so it'll still show
Look
that
at
design really beautifully. Now, once it's dry, let me show you a couple examples of when it's dry here. So the thing is, if you let it dry naturally, it'll kind of bead off of the paste. But sometimes if you heat set it, it will dry on top of the paste, and then you just have to take like a wet, like a very damp cloth and just wipe off the surface, and then it'll remove it, but it doesn't sit on top of any of the background. So here I used that Typewriter background stamp, here I
Yeah.
used Moroccan tile, and it's just gorgeous, but you still get
Wow.
all of that beautiful resisted design, which is awesome.
That's cool. I have some here. I'm going to play. So you can paint with these too, probably, huh?
Yes, so that was another thing too.
Wait, don't go back. What was that other one you just showed?
Oh, this one was just
That's
the
a
Deco Diamond
stencil.
stencil. It's just a Deco Diamond stencil, and I just sprayed through it, and that's beautiful. Like just the simplest stencils, you just lay it down, spray it through, and you get like the most beautiful looking background ever. I love it. Let's
Hey.
try watercolor.
Simon, you know what? Cheryl said we're like a mom and a son.
I love that. I love that. That's the best energy to bring to the crafting,
I
right?
am well old enough. I'm well old enough to be your mother. That's funny. Erica said sold. I'll have all of them.
Right?
Smart. Okay.
It's like once you see, I think if you just see the spray, you're like, okay, it's like the same thing. But once you see how different it is
No.
and how it reacts differently than the paste, I think it's an immediate yes for me.
Well, here's the thing. In this, you can't see it on the video as much as in person. How I wish you could. So what I have here, I'm going to just play. These are the solar sprays from Simon Hurley. And if you're looking at any of the things, any of these Ranger products, like the solar sprays or any of his paste, they're giving 15% off for my viewers only, and that's in the description below. And then I have links to everything. And a lot of the products that we're using, like stencils and stuff, are older, the dies. So a lot of those are on sale, and those are all linked below too. Now what I have here is I used his typewriter, this typewriter background stamp, which I'm going to use a lot now. And I clear heat embossed it on black. And I'm going to do a variation of what he did. Look at that. Yours is beautiful.
It's so stunning, right? And I just wiped it with the paper towel, just really damp, because you don't want to remove any of the color. These do react with water, so you don't want to keep removing them, but just a light rub over top, if you heat set it especially, will kind of help remove any of that color, but it's just gorgeous. Love it.
Okay, a lot of people want you to be their grandson.
That's hilarious.
How cool would it be to have a grandma who was crafty like this? Like you could do this with. That would have been awesome.
It'd be so fun. You just get to bounce ideas. It's so fun crafting with other people because you get to bounce ideas off of each other and see what they're doing. And like some of the things you do, I would never think of doing, but it turns out so cool in the end. That's the awesome part about crafting. So this is
the text background, clear heat embossed on black, and I'm being pretty generous with this so that it kind of bubbles up. This is Royal Flush, which is the purple, and then in the middle I did the Beluga, which is the blue, and then at the top I did the Crocodile Tears, which is that kind of minty green. And I just want to show you what that kind of looks like, and that would dry beautiful. But what I'm going to try this. I should have done this on a mat. You could also kind of spread it out a little bit if you want more of a smooth shine in the background.
Oh, that's really
not
smart.
Have that kind of bubbly. I don't know.
Then it almost looks like hand painted, kind of.
Yeah. So that kind of smooths it out, and that'll dry and give you more of a solid shimmer in the background, I guess, or that solid look. So I'm going to heat set this one.
I love that.
That's beautiful.
Thanks. I love how these are turning out. They're so cool.
I keep going back to the Royal Flush.
Yeah, that one is one of my faves. I love a purple right now. Purple is a great colorway. All right, I'm gonna take this and turn it into a card while Jennifer's heat setting that. So I'm just gonna take, we now sell this dark white cardstock in card panels too. So it makes it easy. They're already scored. So all you have to do is just crease them down and use a bone folder. So it makes it really easy. Oh, wow. That's stunning. You're muted again.
That's a pretty detailed background. See, this is like, it is like a grandmother and grandson. Because like my son always has to help my mom with tech stuff. You're always you're muted. That's very detailed. So I'm going to do it on this that has less detail. This is Ornate Fans from Gina K Designs. So Ornate Fans white heat embossed on. This is that Azurite again from Altenew. So I just want to see what that. I am gonna go, I think I'm gonna do the Royal Flush, which is more purple, on top of this bluer color.
That's gonna be pretty.
That is gorgeous. Can you see that?
Oh, wow.
Now, let me dry this a little bit, and then I'm gonna wipe off the top. So remember how I said if you have extra spray on your desk, you can't really see mine. I just keep one piece that I will pick up all the extra spray, and this will end up building up and giving you like this kind of marbly look with different colors of sprays, and then nothing goes to waste.
And then isn't it cool how it like holds that texture too when you're dipping it? So
That's so
it
neat.
almost looks like dimensional when you dip it in like that too.
This isn't totally dry. I should probably let it dry more, but I'm impatient. There we go. So basically it's absorbed into the paper, right? It's dried on the paper, but it's not, the clear heat embossing resists it from absorbing, right? So I can kind of dab some of that off. And so now you have the shine. Oh, I can't really see it, but you get the purple shifty shine in the background. You can kind of see it up here where it's dry.
That's stunning.
I could do more. And then the heat embossing resisted it.
That's beautiful.
I did two colors that were very close. Again, I need to stop doing that. But if I would have done like a gold on there, you probably would see it. Oh, that is so pretty.
Thanks. So this is I just added those die cuts on and it completes the card really nicely. So like we were talking about earlier, like a simple background with these sprays is really easy to make, and then you just lay down some die cuts. This is the everyday foliage and the everyday sentiments, and they're named every day, so you can use them every single day on every card, right?
So it can go with your everyday sentiments, which
Yep.
again, gosh, I love those. There I put a little gold on, and I dabbed some of it off so it wasn't too much. There's a little bit of gold on the bottom,
Oh,
the
that's
golden
pretty.
hour.
I love that.
Gorgeous. And I'm not working on the best paper for, I don't mean that. That paper's good for blending and, backgrounds, not for water, a lot of moisture, but it still works really well. It still works really well. Gorgeous.
All right. Should we jump into a little bit of coloring now?
Sure, I'm gonna let you do that because I'm terrible at,
All right, I'll show
I'm
the-
loving
I'll
this.
show the
Look
coloring.
at that.
Oh, that's so pretty. I
I
love
wish
it.
you could see it better in real life. There, I don't know if, look at that.
That's beautiful. And like I said, that resist just isn't possible with the paste. I tried so many times to like do that with the paste. So I love that sort of technique with these sprays. It makes it beautiful.
So fun. So fun.
Okay, so for coloring, I'm just going to take my Simon Hurley inks and I'm just going to swipe them down onto the craft sheet or your glass craft surface, whatever you're using. I'm going to use a couple pinks and purples here. And then for the greens, I'll swipe down some green inks.
Okay, I'm in love with this. Look at that.
That's gorgeous.
So that's
I love
Ornate fans from Gina K, clear heat embossed on like a bold blue cardstock. And then I did Royal Flush. You can kind of see that purple up there. And then I did just some of the golden hour. I sprayed some, but then I removed some. So Lori asked what papers recommended. Lori, at the beginning of the live, Simon did do a comparison that, you could do this on watercolor paper, you could do this on, a nice cardstock. It's just, if you're going to use a lot of the spray, you want something that can handle a lot of water. So that's why you kind of want to go with more of a heavyweight, but he showed the difference between the two. So I would recommend kind of rewinding back and watching that.
Yes, and different ones are good for different techniques too. So it all just depends on what kind of look you want. So if you have cardstock at home that you want to test that we didn't show, definitely do that beforehand and test and swatch it out and see. That's so beautiful.
Yeah,
I love the die cut with it too. That's so pretty.
Oh, that would be nice.
So when it comes to coloring with the stark white cardstock, I just like to add a little bit of water down first because, like I said, this cardstock kind of takes water and like seeps it right in. So this gets the cardstock ready to take any liquid. And then I've sprayed down a couple colors of the spray on the side here. So I've got Golden Hour, I got Royal Flush, and then the green. So instead of using water for this, I can then dip into that spray. That gives you enough liquid to do the watercoloring. And now I get a shiny watercolor. So I'm dipping into a little bit of Prom Queen. I'm going to watercolor the front of the flowers with that. And so now I'm getting a pink paint with a gold shine. And now I'm dipping into purple, that browny color, with a little bit of that golden hour as well. And the cool part about this is the mica doesn't mix with the color. So I can mix this gold mica with a purple, and it's not going to make mud. It's just going to be a purple color, and then you'll see that shine when you tilt in the light. So the mica in the spray doesn't interact with your inks, so it will give you a
Okay.
beautiful color with that gold shine. So
Okay.
stunning. So you can use opposite colors. You can use the same color mica. It doesn't matter what you use, depending on what color shine you want.
Okay. So because it's a clear liquid with that color shifting kind of mica in it, when you mix it with an ink, it doesn't change the color of that ink. It just adds that color shine to it.
Yep.
Is that basically it? Okay.
Yep, so it stays exactly the same. It'll look completely the same. It just adds that color shine. So you're getting like a cool watercolor look now, but it has this beautiful shimmer that you're able to add with the sprays. So really fun technique.
So I'm just playing with just painting the spray onto black. So if you don't like that kind of sprayed look, you can definitely paint with these and you get that beautiful color kind of shifting shine to it. And the heavier you put it down, the more of that effect you get. Oh, that is gorgeous. See, now this, I think this would be pretty to die cut a sentiment out of and just add, you know, it'll look bold and black, but then when you tilt it, you get that beautiful,
it's gorgeous
shine to it. So you can paint on the black too. It would be really pretty to like black heat emboss on black, an outline image on black cardstock, and then paint it in.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
In that case, you don't need the ink like you're doing.
Right, because you wouldn't see the ink because it's translucent. So in that case, you would just see all that shine, and the shine would really become the color in that case, which is awesome.
All right, I want to play with what you're doing. This is Gina K. I wanted something bold. This is Blue Raspberry from Gina K. And then I'm going to add to it some of the Golden Hour.
Oh, nice. And for this one, I'm using this new stamp set. If you're shopping on Ranger, this one's called Heartfelt Blooms. And I love this one because it's got a really big floral image up here that's a focal point. Some really great sentiments for all different types of occasions. And then it's got these lined images that are bigger. You can use the leaves to make a bouquet. And then it's got solid images you can stamp in and color if you want to too. So lots of options with that set. But if you love to color, it's a fun one.
Yeah, I am not bueno with the coloring. I struggle with the coloring. But you can get that, this needs to dry, but it's blue, it stays true blue, but then when you shift it, you get that golden glow to it. Because I used blue ink and gold shimmer.
And it's fun to kind of use those opposing colors, and then it doesn't affect the ink at all, but it gives it that unique shine that when you tilt it in the light, it's kind of like a surprise.
Yeah. I'm just putting some on here. I want to dry it and see. This is watercolor. This is regular cardstock, and this is watercolor. Oh yeah, you see that shimmer. So the more shimmer or more like shine you want, the more you add of the solar spray. I don't know if you can see it on there.
Yep.
Yeah, you can see it. But it stayed true blue. It didn't turn green.
Oh, that's beautiful. That looks almost like an ocean, like wave kind of coming in. It's pretty.
So someone asked, do the sprays match the inks and the pastes?
No, so the solar line, so the lunar paste line matches with the inks. The solar paste line is completely on its own. These are like kind of a different shifting mica. However, like you can find some pairs with the colors, but I love it because like you can put this pink on top of any red or pink and it'll kind of look similar because of that shifting. So they don't match specifically, they're separate colors, but really they're just kind of that great colored shine.
So so this was the blue ink with just a little bit of that golden hour spray. This is on watercolor paper, so you get that, of course, more watercolory look with that shimmer to it when you tilt it. And this is on regular cardstock, which doesn't want to absorb it as much. So what you get, well, I mean, it absorbs the color quickly and it leaves, you can see it leaves that shimmer on top more. So it's just a different look. But in real life, you can see that little gold shimmer. And it's nice because you can do like a a blue color with a gold shimmer and it doesn't turn green. Yeah, I guess that's what I'm trying. Yeah, I struggle with coloring. Now this one I want to just dry, and I'm going to do like a little bouquet of flowers or something right in the center of that mist, because I cannot get over the golden hour misted on the
It's
black.
such a good one, right?
So pretty. I still have this one too.
So I'm just gonna die cut this through just to show you
Look
guys
at you
how
just
easy this is.
look at you just color so quickly. What the heck?
It's easy once you get the hang of it, and honestly, you just throw colors down. It's not like it's too.
I can't do that, Simon. I'm old and I overthink everything. That's what I do. Shimmery blue, yeah. What about spraying onto wet watercolor paper?
That's a good question. I think it would kind of blend and move a little bit more on the cardstock rather than sinking right in.
Probably. And I got black watercolor paper. I think I got it from Hero, and I'm dying to do something with that. These would be fun on a black watercolor paper because it'd be different than a black cardstock.
And then check this out. Once it's die cut, Spellbinders
Look
does
at
such a
that.
good job. Like all those inside pieces cut out too. So
Thank you.
Yeah, it saves you so much time, right? Those are so important. I was like, guys, we got to bridge all these little areas because then
Yeah.
it makes it so you can see any background. So like if I were to put this on that Moroccan backdrop that I just did, like you can see that backdrop through. It gives you all that amazing shine and texture. And then the floral too now has that beautiful shimmer. I don't know if you can catch it there, but it's got some beautiful shimmer to it now that you colored it in with the solar spray. So really fun. I love it. I love that look.
Can you do me one more favor? The leaf one that you made. Can you hold that up to the camera again?
The leaf. Yes.
Yeah. Because I want to see can we catch the shine on the white die cut? I don't think you can.
Oh, I don't know if we can. It might. Let me see. Let me turn this down a little bit, and we'll see if we can get a hold of it.
What he did here is he die cut that white leaf, and then do you know which color you sprayed on there?
I sprayed crocodile here, so it would have a little bit of green. It's really hard to catch on here.
Yeah.
But you can see it in real life a little bit more. It's like just a subtle shine on top of there.
The reason I'm really excited about that is I often will do like a background like that where there's a lot going on, and the way I keep it from being overwhelming is just do a big white die cut like you did in a sentiment. But this way you can add that kind of color shifting to the white, but it still looks crisp white straight on. So it just adds a little interest without getting lost in the background.
Right, yeah, it still really pops because it stays that white. But yeah, it just a little bit of something to it, which those little tiny details I feel like really brings a whole card to life. Really nice.
You can definitely see the shimmer on the background, how it when you tilt it. To me it looks like lights turn on and off as you tilt it.
Right? Yeah, it's so cool.
That's a beautiful card.
Love it.
And then this one is just the spray over stencil. You could make this one in 5 minutes.
And that one is just gorgeous.
You could add to it, but I don't think you need to.
Should I do one last technique? Do we still got time?
Please, go for it.
All right. I'm going to pull in the Stamp Wheel 2.0.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull this guy out so we can use a rubber stamp. So I have their thin cling mat at the bottom here.
Okay.
And so I'm going to put down a piece of my stark white cardstock. And then, so we're going to start with just inks, and then we'll go into, I like to use the spray one last way, which you've kind of been doing, but it just adds a nice finishing touch to it. So that's going to hold it down in place. And then we have this new stamp called Whimsical Floral. I love this one. And it's a peel apart. So I'll show you what that means in just a second. But I like to just take this and kind of like put it on the card and then leave like white space. So you could do it like coming up from the bottom or, like any edge. And it just makes it, like gives it a little bit of dimension.
Right.
And rather than just stamping it right in the center. So I'm going to do like probably like right like that. And then I'm leaving the floral images off to the side. So these are cut out of the red rubber so they can piece back in there. But we're going to leave them off to the side for now and pick this up with our stamp wheel lid. And then I can go in and ink this up and stamp it. So I'm going to stamp it down using a little bit of later gator. Or actually,
Okay.
let me do a little viper. I like this. It's like an olive green kind of color. It's
Nice.
great for leaves. And I'm just going to ink this up and ink all over that red rubber. Now, red rubber stamps just so beautifully, so this will do a great job.
Somebody asked what black cardstock we were using. I was using the Tim Holtz Distress black cardstock, which is in the description below. He's using the black alcohol paper. What do you call it? Alcohol cardstock?
Yeah, it's
Ink
black
cardstock?
alcohol ink cardstock. I think that
But they're the same.
they're the same, yeah.
Yeah.
Just different sizes, so it depends on what kind of size you want. So here I stamped that down. Now I'm gonna go in with some fake plant because I want to just hit the inside edges of this
Yeah,
stamp.
you do. Yep.
But then
Good.
the cool part is because those pieces are out of the stamp, I love these peel aparts because those pieces are out. It makes it so you don't have to mask anything. You don't really have to take
Right.
your time to do it. And then I'm just going to pounce on a little domed foam tool just to kind of soften that edge.
Yeah.
And then that's going to blend in beautifully with the Viper to make some dimension.
And what is this stamp? Well, I have it right here. What's it called again?
That's beautiful. It's called Whimsical Floral.
And stick around because at the end we're giving some things away, and the stamp is one of them.
Oh, sweet. That's
Yeah.
awesome. So I'll wipe this off, and then the awesome part about it is you can now take one of the flowers. So if you want to do them separate, you can. If you want to do them together, you can. Here, I'll do them separate. So I'll just put the flower into the red rubber and then hold it down as you peel the other piece out. And now I can go in and stamp this in a different color. So let's say, let's do this triple berry, and I'll just ink
This
that
is
up.
a pretty color. I like this color.
I like it. It's like a really warm toned purple. And I'll just stamp that down. Love that. And then if you want to, again, I love me some dimensions, so why not? I'm gonna go in with a little bit of Crown Me again. So this is that darker, like bluish purple color, and I'll just use a little Altenew blending tool to just add this to the center and start like dabbing it outwards to blend it.
Yeah. It's amazing the difference. Like on a stencil, if you don't just do one color over a flower, you do darker at the center, or here this one quick extra step of adding that dark purple in the center, the difference it makes in the final result.
It's crazy, right? Because it's like all one layer, but you don't think about that until you do it, and then once you do, it's like you never go back. Because even though it's one extra step, it brings the flower to life so much more.
Yeah.
And then I'll wipe this off. And then the cool part is the lines of this are pretty easy to find where you piece it together. So you just lock it together, place it down.
Oh.
Now that last petal is ready.
Nice.
And then for this one, I'll do a pink, so Prom Queen. This is Christopher Allen's Prom Night color.
That's the prom night. Okay, that's it. I got it.
And then
Christopher's trouble. We know this.
oh, he's hilarious.
He is. He is.
So there we go. We got our pink down there.
It is
And if
a
you
great
want-
pink.
So yeah, it's a great color. My mom actually picked this one out. We had at the very start of my park line, we had a Mother's Day launch, and so she picked out her color of ink and launched it. So this was hers. So there's a nice pink, and then
Your mom's great.
she's so awesome, right?
I think she's younger than me too, so we'll just go with that. My brother's laughing at me.
And then I'll go in with a little bit of bee sting in the center.
And this is more of like a red, like a reddish.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, this one's pretty red. It's kind of like a mid-tone red color. And I'll just add that twice to really get that depth and dimension in the center there.
Yeah,
So
yeah, for sure.
really beautiful. This stamp is easy to use. I love that it's a peel apart. And then once we're done stamping, I could get this out of here. Let me grab something to get it out. Because that mat is sticky on both sides, so you just want to grab like a little tweezers or something to get it started, and then you can pull that out. And then this is what I love to do. So at the end of a card like this, if you feel like you need a little something extra, like that's beautiful. I love it. You can always pop the flowers up if you want to. But I literally just go in. You can use any color. So here I'm going to use a little bit of that gold. I just shake this up, and then, like you did earlier, you just hold it from like a really far distance and just mist down over top. and you get
Yep.
just the lightest, prettiest mist of color. I'm going to heat set this just so you can really start to see that shine. But notice it doesn't really impact the colors. You can see the gold a little bit on top of the color, but
But there's that shift to it. That's just going to be
there's that shift.
pretty.
So you look at it straight on and you're like, oh, nothing's really going on here. And then you tilt it in the light and you see all of that beautiful shine. And it even shines against the white. So let me see. Can I bring this down a little bit so you guys can see it?
Does it
So,
flash? Does like a flashlight help to see it? I don't know.
so
Oh
there
my
you go.
gosh.
A little
Okay,
bit more.
so what's cool is when it lands on the darker color inks, those inks, and you can see that gold shimmer more. It's on the white, but it's more subtle on the white. And so it looks like directly on, I don't know how to get it, but it looks like there's mostly gold on the stamping only, but really it's over the whole thing, and it just took seconds to do.
Yeah, and in real life, you
That's
can
pretty.
see it against the white when you tilt it. But
Yeah.
like straight on, it looks like there's nothing going on in this card. So I love that as like a finishing touch to anything that you do.
Yeah.
It just really like amplifies the card and like just gives it a, like I said, those little things that you don't usually think about, those help to really finish the card and bring it all together nicely, which is awesome. And I
And
just
if you
love
want more of that gold shine, you could spray more because it's not going to change the colors of those inks. It's just
right.
going to add
Yep.
that gold shine.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Amazing. Well, you know,
love it.
this is one of my favorite techniques because it's so quick, but it steps it up. And I think also I like just over a stencil, like the card that I made earlier, which I've already lost. Oh, it's right in front of me. Like this one, so quick to do and just has a lot of impact.
Right? It's so easy and simple. Let me show you a couple other little samples that I made here. So
Okay.
these were, so this is that pretty petals, and I did
Yep.
like a rainbow assortment across it, and then it's a layering stencil, and I put astro paste through that top layer, so it just finishes it off nicely, and then use the Thanks for All You Do from this Heartfelt Blooms set. And then this one I did inks in the background. So this is just
Yeah,
a couple
yeah.
of my ink pads, and then I sprayed the like coordinating colors right through there, so you can barely see it, and then you tilt it, and you get all that color on top.
See, that's what's cool about it.
And then this is the Dazzling Diamond stencil. I didn't use every part of it, but I just created kind of like an Argyle look by doing tone on tone with the other layer. And then here I did the watercolor on top of those florals, but I used the solar spray in that watercolor so you can see that shine again.
There you go. Yeah, you can see it. Yeah.
Beautiful. And then lots of different techniques. So like here I sprayed it on top again after I was done ink
There you go.
blending. You can see all of that. This whole white background has spray on it too, but you can't really see it on camera. But in person, there's a ton of spray on that backdrop.
Hold on. That one there, those flowers, how did you say you did those flowers again?
So there is a solid image in the set that you could stamp. So this is that solid
Okay.
image stamp, which leaves some white.
Yep.
Here I just went in and I ink blended. So this is just
Okay.
ink blending. I started in the center
And
with
then
a
you
smaller
sprayed it.
tool and then went around the edge and then sprayed it lightly. And then you get that golden
Look
shine.
at that.
So
That's
beautiful.
gorgeous.
And then here I did a bunch of sprays on the black. And then for this, on top of it, I didn't spray it. I used a little bit of astro paste and just tapped it on. And so there's glitter on top of these florals. So another way to add all that shine too. All my products, they figure out how to add some shine in some way or another, right? And then here,
Okay.
same thing.
Okay.
I sprayed all
Let's
those
talk about
stars.
this one. And I'm old and I have to lean up to my screen to see. Go ahead. Tell us about this one.
So these are little cat astronauts. I colored them in. They look like Christina Werner's cats. Those cute
do.
little cats. As
Fred and
so
Kevin.
I ink blended the background to look like a little galaxy here, and then I did some of the stars using the Starry Night stencil. There was an embossing folder and stencil from Spellbinders, and I just used the stencil to do like little stars randomly. Then I built up layers by spraying Beluga through the stars. So like you would never know those stars existed until you tilted it,
Oh,
and then it's like,
yeah.
whoa, right?
Yeah, the
And
blue
then-
stars. Yeah.
And then I did some astro paste through here. So this one's actually on my Instagram. If you want to see
Yes.
like the
There's a
short
reel.
video of me making it, there's a little how-to video on Instagram. But it's so
Yes.
I love them. So lots of ways to use the sprays along with what
And
we
you
showed
just
you.
put it up today, right? That video? Or that
It
reel?
was a couple of days ago, I think, like maybe last week.
Oh, well, thanks Instagram. I just saw it today.
Yeah, they do not like to put the content out right when it comes out, right?
No, no. Mary said, what is the diamond stencil, I think she
Oh
asked?
yes.
Yeah, what's
So
the
this
diamond
one
background?
so this one is called Dazzling Diamonds. It actually is supposed to look like this. So this is what it looks like completed. There's 3 layers, but sometimes I skip layers. Like I skipped the layer that hugs those diamonds and just went in with just the diamond to create a lot of these backgrounds. So, but this is how the full stencil looks once it's all done.
Okay.
There's 3 different layers there.
Nice, nice. And if you're looking for any of the supplies that we talked about today, if you click the link at the top of my YouTube description that has the word live in it and you go there, there will be thumbnail images of everything. You might have to refresh the page because we added things as we played today, because this was one of my lives where we just play and have some fun. And I have to say, the award goes to that leaf card. That leaf card is gorgeous. Gorgeous.
So fun. I love
You're
it.
going to have to photograph that one and share it on Instagram or something, because that is outstanding.
Totally. I'll turn all these into cards and then I'll take pictures and post them on Instagram for you guys. But yeah, this was
Nice.
so much fun. I love just kind of sitting down and like bouncing ideas off of each other and just crafting. I think that that's like the fun in all of it, right? You're like, you made me discover things about my own product that I didn't really know about today, which is awesome.
Well, we need to do this more. And I want to do something with your inks too, because you've had the inks for a while. But I'm just getting to know them better. So I think it'd be fun to do that too. Now,
would love
I
to
have
do
giveaways because Simon sent me the sprays to play with. And when he did, he sent a second set of some of the things. Did you know you did that, or did Ranger do that?
We did it on purpose.
Okay.
We wanted
Well, I
you to
didn't
have
know
a
if you
giveaway.
told Ranger or if Ranger did it, but let me show you.
I get about 3 sets of those flowers.
What? These?
No, the other one.
These? Oh, Spellbinders sent it to me too. Oh, so we're going to have extra
The
giveaway.
giveaway?
Okay. So, okay, we have the, what's this one called? Heartfelt Blooms. And there are dies to coordinate coordinating dies with it, but it's not part of the giveaway. But I really like these sentiments. I like the sending smiles a lot. Then, and these, you can do layer stamping with these too, like those layer. But he used this one to paint. Then, of course, the Whimsical Florals, which you all just fell in love with, and the Typewriter background. Then, we can't just do that. Oh no, those are mine. Here we go, fresh new bottles. So it also includes a set of all the solar sprays. I think that, there we go. So a lucky winner will get this. And this is, it can go to anybody. I ship international too. We will choose somebody from the comments. So if you are in the chat, if you haven't left a comment in the chat, do so now and Mike will pick somebody in a moment. So I'm gonna pick a winner for all of this. And then Spellbinders also sent me this and you sent me two. So I'm gonna give away this one too. So one will get all of this and then a bonus person will get the Heartfelt Blooms alone because
Awesome.
we like
super
to
exciting.
share. Listen, you know, times are tough right now. Giveaways are good, right? All right.
Yeah, I love
so,
the giveaway, right?
and if anybody has any last minute questions, you can ask those. Just reminding you that the folks at Ranger, which Simon has a line with, and they make these sprays here in the US, they gave 15% off. And that discount code is in the description. And it's for a few days. And remember, you can also get inks and other things there. And they sell a lot of Simon's Spellbinders products, like his stamps and dies. So you can look there. Also, like the cardstocks, his Start White cardstock, the black cardstock that we used also, it's all in the description below. That would be 15% off. And then some of the other dies and things that we used today are on sale over at Spellbinders, and that's all linked below. So, you know, we're trying to save a buck or two these days. All right, Mike, do you have a winner of the big grand prize, this big pile of goodness, including the solar sprays?
Yeah.
He types it right into the spreadsheet right away so that we don't lose out on it.
Good idea.
Susan Hoop, H-O-U-P.
Susan Hoop, H-O-U-P. if you go to my website and go to contact us or me, I don't know what it says, contact me, and give me your address, we'll get this sent out to you along with a handmade card. All right, so that's one. And then the second person will get the stamp set, because I had an extra Heartfelt Blooms stamp set. And I'll include some other goodies with it too. Who gets this one?
Barb Walters.
Barb Walters. I see Barb here a lot. Yay. So Barb, go ahead and email me through my website, and we'll get that out to you too. Yay. I love giveaways. Thanks for including those.
Of course. I think that's a great little prize. I think I would be so excited to get that. So have fun with this trade.
That's a great prize. That's a big prize. That's an awesome prize. Okay, so again, everything's in the description, and a big thank you to Ranger for that special discount code for us, and for Simon for teaching us all the things.
Hey, I'll do it anytime. This was a ton of fun, Jennifer. I had a blast.
You know, I had a rough day. I was a little off, but man, I feel better now. So we need to do this again.
Therapy, right?
And we both like to do Sunday afternoon lives. I know you've done them sometimes, haven't you? And I like that. So maybe we'll schedule a Sunday afternoon live and we just play with some other ideas.
Yeah, that'd be a blast. I'd love that.
Maybe we can do more of like combining the different things together. That could be fun.
Yeah, like mixing the paste with the spray and the ink. I think it's always a blast to do that.
Yeah.
Our
approach to mixed media with lots of shine. Lots of shine.
Yeah. As much shine as we can get, right?
Yes, I'm all about that, because you know who doesn't have a lot of shine on their cards are those ones you buy at the store. So,
right.
You know, it's something we can do is add a lot of that. Well, thank you for being here. And again, Simon, you've got to follow him especially on Instagram, because he does reels that are quick technique ideas with his products. But he also has a YouTube channel. You can get his products at a lot of different stores, and that's all linked below. So thank you very much. And I hope you all have a wonderful weekend and that you get some time to craft. Take care.
Bye, guys.
Bye, Simon.